Hello everyone, I'm Nitsahone, and each and every Wednesday we do a cracker pack. Right now that means Amonkhet, that's what we're doing. This is a channel that's mostly focused on Limited. We also do a little bit of Magic history, but in terms of gameplay, it's all about the Limited, and because of that, we are going to be talking about this pack in the context of Limited. So let's go ahead and open this pack and see what we have inside and talk about what the best first pick is. I'll just sort of talk about my general feelings about each of the cards as well. This is sort of a quicker way to talk about the set than you watching like an entire one of my draft videos, which you should also do, but this is a little more interesting in a different way anyway. First up, we have Ancient Crab. Now this guy is basically playable in a lot of decks, certainly not first pickable. It's the kind of card that you pick up like third to last. You're like, yeah, I'll put that in my deck. It's a pretty good sideboard card against those annoying 4/1 first strike guys, might be in this pack, who have Exert because it just kills them outright. It's a good sideboard card against any deck with lots of X1s, and it's a playable card in a deck that has a lot of creatures with evasion, because a lot of things just can't get through 5 toughness. Next, we have Pitiless Vizier. This is a quality card for the cycling decks that are out there, but I wouldn't take it early. It's not like the cycling payoff you take and then build around. It's not that powerful. It's the kind of card where you first pick Drakehaven, and then you're like, yeah, I'll take a Pitiless Vizier too, and just go to town. Next, we have Initiate's Companion. Just a decent 2-drop. Has a little bit of synergy when it comes to other creatures with Exert because it can untap them. It can also untap your lands, but that's not always going to be that great, mostly because you can't like ramp yourself extra mana in the same sense. You can sort of, but say, for example, you tap mana in your first main phase, you're not going to get to untap one and tap it again in the way you might want to. It doesn't ramp you to extra mana. It just lets you play, let's say, 1 mana more worth of cards, but in a different way than most ramp would let you, so it's not exactly ramp. Next, we have Slitherblade. I think this card's basically unplayable. There might be a few exceptions. I hate it. I know some people love it. I think you're wrong. My 1 mana 1/2 that takes forever to kill the opponent isn't very good. I have died to it in this format, but that doesn't mean it's good. I've also seen people play them and then never do anything. So Ketra's Name is our next card. This is another common that's sort of a build around. It's not really worth playing unless you're heavy into zombies. When you are, it's pretty potent, but you don't want to first pick it, hopefully. So far, I wouldn't really have any card that I feel good about first picking, so I haven't really talked about it, but I guess if I have to pick something, it would probably be Pitiless Vizier. Next, we have Gust Walker, a 2 mana 2/2. He has Exert, so in the late game, he gains Flying and +1/+1 on turns when you need him to. And right now, I'd say he's the first pick. That's how this pack is going so far. Next is Blazing Volley. This is a sideboard card against people with lots of X1s, and it's unplayable in your main board, I would say. Okay, now we're getting to a card that I wouldn't feel... I mean, I still don't feel great about first picking, but this is what I would first pick now, and that is Awliya Elite. This thing just... I knew it was strong. I gave it a decent grade in my limited review. I said it was one of the best white commons. All of those things are true, but it's still better than I thought it was, because there's just games where you go 2-drop, 3-drop, Awliya Elite, attack with everything, and people just can't block because all your creatures are too big if you exert the Awliya Elite. So right now, that is our first pick. Next, we have Floodwaters. I don't love playing this card unless I'm a cycling-heavy deck. It's just sort of clunky. Yes, it gets rid of tokens, but guess what? You're using a card to get rid of a token that was probably made for an Embalm card, so you're not even really taking away a full card from your opponent. So Floodwaters is okay if you're in a cycling deck, but not what I want. Okay, our first uncommon is bad. It is Hippotra's Mark. I've never played this. I've never seen anyone play it. I'm about 10 drafts in at the time of recording this. And it just doesn't do enough. It doesn't give your guy a boost. All it gives it is hexproof, basically, which can be nice, but it's sort of like a counterspell. You have to have the mana up when they cast whatever it is, and if you don't, it's just a useless card, basically. Okay, Ketra's Monument. This is the Monument that is by far the best. It's the only one that I would say, yeah, I'll play that in most white decks. The other Monuments are more corner cases, but this one's pretty good. I think I would still take Awliya Elite over it, but it's the next best card in this pack now. Okay, next we have Destined to Lead. This isn't a solid combat trick, even if you can only play the top half. If you can play both halves, it's pretty good. But I still think, because this is gold, basically, that I would take Awliya Elite first pick in this particular pack. Okay, well, here's our rare, and it's a bomb rare, and this is why we talked about the other cards first, because there would have been no conversation. It is Archfiend of Ifnir. He is a huge bomb. I've had the pleasure of drafting him at least twice, and both times he's been insane. He's a big 5 mana 5/4 That's great already, has flying, and then just throw in a few cards with cycling in your deck, or even better, lots of them, and he starts just wiping your opponent's board. So he's incredible. We do have a foil, but it's a common. It is Supernatural Stamina. Talk about it, though. This is, I think, my pick for the best combat trick in the format. It just does so much work. It gives your guy enough power to kill something, while also making your creature come back from the graveyard. What's great about that is that you get enter the battlefield triggers over again, like your grave diggers and stuff like that. I've done that, and that feels awesome. So you're not even like losing a card really when you do it with something like grave digger. So it's a pretty nice trick. The downside about it is it doesn't work that well with tokens, but the good news is in black there aren't a ton. There are zombie tokens, but so it doesn't do anything with tokens. Your tokens die. So that's our pack, and really the only two cards worth, I think, discussion as first picks are Archfiend of Ifnir and then Awliya Elite. Those are the two best cards in this pack, but it's Archfiend of Ifnir by far. In the comments, let me know which you would first pick out of this particular pack, and I'll be back next week with another Crack-A-Pack.